Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. I'm feeling great, by the way, right now. Bit more relaxing type stuff. I'm gonna have some chicken and Thai rice noodles here soon. Um, Probably the Thai rice noodles and soup first, then the chicken. So, I wanted to make this video about maybe a kind of overview of places I've lived in the Seattle area, and more especially focus on the Seattle Bellevue rent prices and all that stuff, as I've kind of had some experience somewhat with at least people that live in those areas and what they have to pay for. Okay, so I'm originally from University Place, which is west of Tacoma. That's my hometown growing up. So I had no concept growing up of what my dad was paying for. But my dad did very well in business. So we were doing fine. We were very thrifty as well. And my dad's really good with money. And so since I've lived after college, I've lived in the kind of north of Seattle, south of Everett general area, moving around a little bit. I personally have lived in central Linwood, kind of Picnic Point area, kind of, I guess called north of Meadowdale, but it's unincorporated Snohomish County, but it's south of Mukilteo and Everett. So it's kind of a no man's land between Edmonds and Linwood and Mukilteo and Everett, that general area. So I lived there. I've also lived in on the border of Everett and I guess that area, Picnic Point. Right, so I lived right in the border of Everett, southern Everett. I've also lived in Kenmore, a little way south of it. And where else have I lived? That's about it. So, but I've taught music lessons many music lessons in Seattle and Bellevue. I've known many people in both areas, playing in orchestras, as well as just people I know that are members of the church in both areas. And I have many other connections I have with people I knew from college and whoever else, high school. And I've been to Seattle and Bellevue a lot. I've never had the desire, personally, to live in either city, even though, in my opinion, Bellevue is not a bad place to live so long as you can afford it. And when we're talking about rent is one of these things, or mortgage, or if you have your own house, it's one of those things where unless you own your own house, you're putting money toward a house, owning it eventually, rent needs to be low. Rent must be low. If rent is a medium priced, or medium, that's always a relative kind of thing, but if it's getting a little steeper, you have to be earning some serious dough, because you always want to be saving money whenever possible. And that's just not possible for a lot of people living in central King County. I know there's a lot of people that have a lot to say about that subject, and there really is. But let me just, for the heck of it, I'm going to go on about this for a bit. I still don't earn a heck of a lot of money. I suppose if I valued making more money at a very early age and wanted to go into a career that would make me a ton of money, and I knew for sure 100% that I'm making a ton of money and all this stuff, and I was just a different person in a way, okay. Apparently, and I'm kind of basing this video off of many things, not just one article I've just read. I've known about the Seattle issue for a while, by the way, about Amazon's dominance in Seattle, about rising rent in Seattle, and losing a lot of smaller businesses, having to pick up their stakes and leave and go somewhere else, and Amazon takes more land or some other company takes more land. You know, just that whole effect. And some areas of Seattle being more affected by this than others. This is water, by the way. So the Seattle thing is very much in my sights, and I'm like, no, I am not going to live in Seattle. Period. And, you know, there has to be a darn good reason for me to live there. Darn good reason. I have to be making buttloads of money, like, you know, a lot of money. Bellevue, same deal actually. Maybe I've seen Bellevue in a better light, but why live in Bellevue if you could live in Kirkland, or you could live in, yeah, I mean, I already live where I'm at right now. It's only a few minutes away to go to either city, either Seattle or Bellevue, or Redmond, or Kirkland, or whatever. It's not really that far. I could go to Everett. I could go to, yeah. I mean, in any sizable city or any place I would. It's a great location where I'm at right now. It's great rent. It's, you know, why would I want to go someplace and live and pay rent? That's why I was owning a house or putting down money for a house. Why would I want to go spend over $1,000 for what? That's $600 more than I'm spending right now per month. By the way, $600. That's even the low end. I've heard some crazy stories about Seattle, man. What do you honestly need that you're going to just not end up owning in the future? Because you're renting. You're paying rent for what? A hot tub and jacuzzi? Hopefully some place, a fitness center that you never use? What? You know, what amenities does a place provide for the... You're paying rent for a real estate? You know, so you can say that you live in Bellevue. I don't think paying very much money. Nobody should be paying very much. No. That's mortgage money, and you should we should always be able to afford your mortgage and everything else you have to do. So that doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know, that's the way I feel about this stuff, and so you know, it's like. But you can go visit Seattle and Bellevue. There's nothing stopping me, if I have some time, to go to Seattle and Bellevue with friends or my own, whatever. Go have fun. And you can do that when you live there as well, but you're spending all that much more money to be that much closer to that, if that's even something you want. That makes no sense to me at all. Like, I could say to myself, I love Pike Place Market, so I want to live close by Pike Place Market. I love the arts in Seattle and all this stuff. So I just want to live there, so I'm just living that all the time. Great. That's going to be kind of more expensive unless I find a really great deal. You know, there's a much better chance of having my car broken into. Whatever. You know, if I want to risk all that and spend all gobs more money, there's the homeless problem in Seattle. Seattle's got so many issues. I'm surprised it's even staying afloat sometimes. Everybody wants to move to Seattle for some. I mean, it's just like it's gonna. I don't know. And this real estate bubble thing, and you know, these things have a way of kind of. I don't know. This is a hot button topic. All I can say is, I've known people that live in Bellevue. Right. Either they rent or they live there, and between Seattle or Bellevue, honestly, I think Bellevue is the better option, but it's expensive. It can be very expensive, depending on what it is you're spending money for. I just don't think there's any point to living in that whole area, again, because you can just travel there and have a good time. And Sammamish and Redmond are very expensive and wealthy, and Issaquah is a very wealthy place, Mercer Island, and just the whole central area of King County is very high rent and high mortgage, unless again you rent from a cheaper apartment area or something. And of course, if you go south and King and get to Pierce County, it's different. So I've kind of managed to stay north of that middle area that kind of, if I go far enough south, I'm getting much closer to my home territory growing up. So this all being said, so I like having a little bit of distance from my parents, yet, being close enough I could travel home. A lot of people like to live in Seattle. I just don't think it's worth it. Again, I can just go there if I wanted to go there and live someplace cheaper. Why not just do that? Okay. Anyway, there's a lot of other things I have to mention about this subject. I'm just not a yuppie, and I'm not an Amazon guy, and I just don't think that way. So, that's just, I don't know. I've been told that of all cities in the United States, Seattle is the one that matches my personality the most. But it doesn't. It does not. Seattle's full of a bunch of moody fruitcakes who, I don't know. You have all kinds, but there's a lot of, I don't blame with Seattle at all. I'm a suburban. I was a suburban guy, Pierce County guy from the west side growing up of Pierce County, and I'm very much also fond of this general North King, South Snohomish area since I've been here for a long time, and I'm not a Seattleite. I'm not, but I understand the city. Yeah, it's just not worth it. I mean, it's not worth it to live there. And I could definitely say the same thing for San Francisco. That's for darn sure. Gosh, between Seattle and San Francisco, you might as well live in Seattle. Throw your money away and probably be in debt, but you should be better off than in San Francisco. That's for darn sure. San Francisco may be worse than LA, but I doubt it. I think LA is also getting pretty bad too, depending where you live. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Leave me thoughts and comments below. You guys take care.